back here on RossLong.Info, and of course, KJagRadio.com, your source for interviews and everything in Central, South Central, and basically just all over Central Kansas. I'm Jiggy Jag, Jignatius Jaguar, out here at the Bicentennial Center in the great city of Salina, Kansas. Is this like the pizza-making capital of the world? I think that's what it is. And we want to thank our good friend James Brockaway for helping us out today. Also, Ross Long for helping us out behind the camera, and cousin Chris, who is just an all-around fun guy and always entertaining. And I want to thank the folks at TNA Impact Wrestling for having us out here to the Bi Center. If you want to get more information, it's RossLong.Info and KJagRadio.com. Back here on KJagRadio.com, Jiggy Jag, Jigman Freud out here in the Bicentennial Center in Salina, Kansas, and I've got cousin Chris with me. And I've got the champ, A-Double himself, Austin Aries, with us. Thank you for joining us, by the way, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And thanks for bringing the gold.
Look at that.
I love it.
You think I just leave it laying around?
Yeah, you just leave it laying around.
Lay it on the couch.
I don't know when I'm getting it polished by SoCal Val. The thing's always on me.
Now, I want to start with the first question. You were trained by Eddie Sharkey. Tell me the hardest thing you did and how that made you the athlete you are now.
The hardest thing I did?
Yeah, in wrestling camp, wrestling school.
I just think, it's a marathon. You know, a lot of guys can handle it for a week or a month, but it's whether you're willing to stick with it for the long run. Pay your dues up and down the road, and most guys really can't hang at the end of the day. A lot of people want to pretend they're wrestlers or say they're wrestlers or think they know about the business because they watch it or they write about it.
Or they read the internet.
Or they read the internet. But until you actually do it, you really have no clue.
Now, talk to me a little bit about your run with Paparazzi Productions back in the day. Was that a fun time? Or
We've never been able to clarify this. Everyone thinks that was me. That was actually Austin Starr. I know there's a lot of similarities. But I've got a tattoo, and if you go back and look at any Austin Starr footage, you'll see he doesn't have a tattoo.
Doesn't have a tattoo. It's completely different guy.
But I do remember seeing that time and thought it was very entertaining, a little corny. Maybe didn't have a level of seriousness to it, but boy, all those guys look like they were having a lot of fun, and that's what I remember the most about that time.
Chris, you got anything before I jump into
one thing you hate about your hometown? You hate about it. Your hometown.
Milwaukee, which is my hometown. Yeah. I hate that the Milwaukee Bucks are just a sad franchise, always shooting for mediocrity in the 8th seed, because Senator Cole is so old he doesn't want to go into a rebuild mode to make a real competitive team. So he's like Mr. Burns. He just sits behind his desk.
Simpsons reference, thank you,
and
sir.
Just pulls strings, and that team is just stuck in mediocrity. And as a sports fan, as we've seen with the Milwaukee Brewers, if you put a good product out there with a good owner, people will come and support it. So, be Milwaukee. I think that's the Bucks. Yeah. What's that mean?
And I got one more thing for you.
Drink beer and eat cheese. Be Milwaukee.
It's a blast for your past, probably. ROH.
Yep.
There it is. 2-time champion, ROH, world champ.
Yep.
Now, tell me about the best opponent you've ever worked with.
It's a good one.
I had a hell of a match with a leaf once that ascended from a tree.
Really?
It was over quickly, but for what it was, I would have gave it 4 stars. I don't know. It's tough to say, man. I'll tell you what. Zebra Kid was a hell of a match. I think he'd just gotten out of prison or jail. That was his first match back. And
we interview a lot of those, don't
we? We interviewed a lot of those folks.
And this guy's just grown up around wrestling. The family's a bit of a gypsies, and we got in there, and it was a scrap for sure, and that was over in England somewhere. But I mean, you guys know who I've been in the ring with, and they're all talented guys, and they all push you to different levels at different extents, and that's how we all get better and grow, is by the level of our competition. Which is why all these young X Division guys are getting better as we speak, because they all get to wrestle with me.
Because they all got to wrestle the champ.
That's right.
Now, you've had such nicknames as the greatest man that ever lived, MV3, which is the most valuable vascular vegetarian,
correct,
and A-Double, which is your favorite.
I like them all. I think the greatest man that ever lived. I think TGMTEL, if you want to anagram it, is pretty much sums it all up. Perhaps, and the thing about being great is that you always leave you always leave the sliver that you're not correct.
Yeah.
Because there's no absolutes in this world.
Yeah.
You know, so quite possibly the greatest man that ever lived.
There
I don't
you
want to
go.
say definitively. That's just arrogant.
Well, talk to me about your weight routine and your cardio routine. What do you do in the gym to get ready to go out there and show all these punks that you're the best in the business?
That's a reference.
It's yeah.
I wasn't going that route, but okay.
Yeah. You haven't heard that comparison enough. Is that supposed to be a compliment?
No, not really.
Anyway.
No.
You know, the thing is I've been doing this for a dozen years, so I've been in the gym for a dozen years, and it's just about keeping yourself interested, honestly, and then working around whatever injuries you may or may not have.
Yeah.
Keeping the body flexible, and obviously I've been a vegetarian for 11 years, long before Daniel Bryan was vegan, and so.
Shots fired.
That's all right. No.
No.
Hey, when he's in town, he hits me up and asks where the good spots are, and vice versa. So. But it's just, you know, consistency and you know, again, this is if you're going to be in this for a long time, make money, it's a marathon. So you need to maintain your body and whatever means necessary. Everyone's a little different.
Now, PWI ranked you number 25 out of the best 500 singles wrestlers in 2010. Were you ripped off?
I mean, who voted on these rankings?
Exactly.
All right, I think we all know what that is, and you know.
I don't even know who was number one that year.
But let's put it this way: if I was 6 feet tall, and I've heard this before, if I was 6 feet tall, I'd probably be the best goddamn wrestler in the universe. Unfortunately, I'm a shade under 6 feet tall, so I got to settle for somewhere in the top, 7 to 10. Big deal.
Yeah.
You know, so 25, 250, 450. It doesn't that.
At least
really,
you weren't 500.
Let's put it this way. Nobody called me after the magazine came out and said, "Hey, we just saw you were number 25 in the world. We'd like to book you on our show." You know what I'm saying? It didn't really help me or hurt me. It's always nice to be recognized for your talents, and obviously over the years, a lot of people have used that as a barometer. But I think, for the people who know, we take with the grain of salt that comes with it. So.
Cool stuff. Well, by the way, I got a couple more questions for you. Appreciate you doing this.
I'm getting paid by the question, right? This is good. Keep
That's
them coming.
that's what
Time
I'm
is
assuming.
money. The champ's got nothing better to do.
Do you prefer working on the road for TV tapings or in Orlando at the Impact Zone?
I mean, that's a pretty silly question. I mean, obviously, you can only put the same. I don't mean the same show, but you only put a show on consistently in front of the same people for so long, and the atmosphere is going to be different than when you take it on the road. I think that all the people in the back, all the people in the front, the energy and the atmosphere at the live shows is always different, and so the more we can be on the road, the better it's going to be for everyone involved, and hopefully we can keep moving more towards that. Obviously, the last shows we had in London were a huge success.
Phenomenal.
And it's good to know that we can take this product around the world and that there's a strong fan base other places. So we just need to get it out there more, and we just need to get more eyes on the product. There's a gap between the fan base of the two companies, and our job is to close the gap. So we need to figure out how to do it.
One more question. Talk to me about your voiceover work you did for a video game recently. How was that experience?
It was great. I got paid. Got paid nicely to do it. I worked for THQ for 3 years on that game in different roles, and was originally brought in by my best friend, who was actually wrote and directed those year's games, and it was a good time. It's a fun motion capture works, a lot of fun. Voiceover works fun, and you get to add a little bit of your own personality to it. And let's be honest, when you're kissing the game with a little bit of greatness, it's only going to make the overall product that much better. So probably the highest selling game ever this year. I'm not going to take all the credit, but I'll just take my deserved slice.
Little sliver. Well, thank you, sir. Do you have anything else you want to get out to the fans?
No, I just want to go find my cup of coffee. Obviously, you can be following me on Twitter. I'm sure I have a lot more Twitter followers than this television station has, or this show has.
Probably.
But just in case there's some people out there who aren't following me on Twitter, @AustinAries, very simple. And that's really about it. You're going to probably be seeing and hearing a lot more about me if you're keeping your heads above the water and out from underneath the rocks. So.
Well, I appreciate it, champ.
Thank you, champ.
Thanks for doing this.
This is awesome.
And thanks to Ross Long behind the camera. And thanks for watching KJagRadio.com.
I'll take cash.
I hope that's you, man. I'm not paying it.